Will Ripley in the house. Go ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know that you are alive and well out there. I'm just firing up the old YouTube stream so I can see those comments. So we are live. Let me just adjust the camera. Let's try that right there. All right. So, a couple people on the call. Good morning, everybody. At least it's morning here. So it's 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Why don't you drop me a comment? Let me know where you are tuning in from. So I had a little bit of a rough morning up at about 5 o'clock in the morning with my little baby. So thank goodness for coffee and espresso. So why don't you guys go ahead and grab your favorite beverage, grab your guitars. Of course, we're live, so get those comments rolling. You can see the topic here. It's called Ask Me Anything, okay? So I wanted to do a live lesson this week, and things have been really crazy, and I have some big announcements that I wanted to share with you. And then I'm just like, hey, maybe there's some people with questions that I don't really know about. And that also kind of alludes me to another big announcement that we're going to be talking about on the call here today. So why don't you guys go ahead, drop me in a comment. If there's some sort of burning guitar question that you have right out the gate, then yes, I'd love to hear that. And the more of those that we get, the better this and more juicy and more, I don't know, big this lesson will be. So, because that's the theme, that's the concept of the day. So, where should we start with? Okay, so espresso first. Thank goodness for that. I see Carl on the call. Cool, first time viewer. What's up, Carl? Good to see you on the call, man. And so maybe you are new to the Campfire Guitar Star fold, but if so, welcome. And so, as you guys might recognize and maybe not recognize, this is my very first video of my new studio, okay? So those of you, Carl, you wouldn't maybe know this, but maybe Carl, you've seen some of our other videos on the YouTube channel. But this is a brand new thing for me to have this set up. So maybe you recognize some of my gear. Maybe you don't recognize this guitar though. This is a brand new guitar for me. I know it looks all beat up and haggard, and maybe you're wondering, why would you buy a beat up haggard guitar, Will? Well, I used to ask that same question about people too. But so anyways, a couple big announcements, brand new guitar. For me anyways, it's a second-hand Fender Custom Shop. You can always tell because the Fender Custom Shop logo there. Oh, yep, there. And so yeah, so back in 2007, a guy that I bought this from made a custom order with the Fender Custom Shop, everything down to what pickups, and this is apparently a like a 1968 or 1969 style headstock, but a 1965 Stratocaster pickguard. Of course, the heavy relic, very light ash, and yeah, just haggard, beat up all over. And I really wanted a nice 1960s Strat, but to get the real thing, do you know how much they cost, man? They're like 20, 30, $40,000. So that seemed a little bit out of the realm of possibilities for most people. But so anyways, so I got this for about 2,600 US, which is still a pretty penny, but I was able to sell another guitar, which really helped out. So anyways, so I'm really stoked on this guitar. Couldn't be any more happy with it. So, and now, hey, what's up, Tony? Another first-time viewer. Interesting. What's up, guys? So tell me, Carl and Tony, you guys said that you guys are first-time viewers. So does that mean that this is your first live stream with us, or have you been checking out some Campfire Guitar Star guitar lesson videos? Or let me know what makes you a first-time watcher, because you got here somehow. So maybe it was through the mailing list, or maybe it was, yeah, you get a notification on your phone because you're subscribed to the channel. You know, you must have checked out some of our stuff. So, so yeah, so it's been a heck of a time lately because if you guys, speaking about the mailing list, if you guys have been hanging out with me for the last little bit, my wife and we had a brand new baby girl. She's 3 weeks old and totally healthy and good, but you know, definitely kicking our asses a little bit, you know. So my wife slept about 3 hours last night, and so and then yeah, so we've moved at the same time because, you know, why not throw a move in there with the extra stress. And so anyways, I've been tearing around here lately, setting up all my gear. But I'm really actually very stoked with my new setup here. So I'll be able to have my recordings set up and stuff over there. And of course, record guitar lessons right here. And yeah, just have access to all my gear that's all set up. And probably can't see it, but I've got all my guitars over here. And so I'm actually at my dad's place. And so he had a couple of interesting things like the lava lamp. Oh yeah, I got that running. It should be swirling here any minute now. And then he also, this was just set up, this blue Chicago picture. So anyways, that just kind of worked out nicely. That was from his trip to Chicago a bunch of years ago. So anyways, and yeah, we've got a record player over there with all kinds of albums and stuff. So I've got a good little setup here. So that's kind of like my very first big announcement right out the gate here, is just all the stuff going on with just equipment and setup and family challenges and all that stuff. But anyways, again, you know, thank goodness for espresso. This stuff gets me going through my day, right? And I see Richard. Good morning. Cool, Tony. So yes, your first time chatting. Awesome. And your girl JJ, hello, I'm a big fan. Awesome. Cheers. Thanks. I'm a big fan of you guys, man. This is why I do this. You know, it's just cool to hang out on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and yeah, just chill, sip some coffee, play some guitar, talk some guitar, and see if I can help you guys rock the house. So hey, let's hang out and make some magic happen. All right. So, and then who else is on the call? Is here Richard? Yeah, thanks, Richard. Congrats on the baby, he says. Yeah, we have a 1.5-year-old baby boy and now a 3-week-old baby girl. So we've got a couple of babies that are like I said, they're just whooping us right now, man. They're whooping my wife, and they're whooping me too. But anyway, so it's been a little bit of a stressful time, but you know, getting everything all set up and stuff. Okay, and Carl says first-time viewer, beginner, and he has got a Taylor GS Mini. Oh yeah. Oh, so you go camping quite a bit. So the name Campfire Guitar Star hooked you. Going through 5-minute guitar. Awesome. And so yeah, so Carl asked about our other course called Acoustic Guitar Star, and yeah, that's incredibly complementary to 5-minute guitar. I've almost thought about packaging those two together and kind of renaming that whole package. So yeah, so anyways, Acoustic Guitar Star, awesome course. And I think if you like 5-minute guitar, then you'll definitely like Acoustic Guitar Star. So maybe that's a kind of a nice segue into a couple of other big announcements that I have for you guys, because check it out. So firstly, I got to tell you that on August, we're in September 12th, I believe that's a Thursday, I'm going to be opening up registration for the All Access Pass to Campfire Guitar Star. And what that means is that you can actually get access to all of our courses, okay, for $1. It's a $1 trial, and then it's just $19.95 a month afterwards, okay? Because otherwise, the other option is to buy all of our courses individually, which would be hundreds of dollars. And so yeah, so this is a great opportunity to get a trial to all of them for $1, and then if you like it, if you want to continue, then and of course you can always cancel your subscription anytime. But this is a great opportunity to get access to all 5 of our courses, again, which are valued at hundreds and hundreds of dollars. $600, I believe, is the whole package price. And yeah, you can just get locked in at a low monthly rate. And so anyways, that's coming up September 12th. So if you're not on the Campfire Guitar Star mailing list already, just go over to campfireguitarstar.com. Anywhere you put in your email address, whether that's for a tab or like to get access to our free course or whatever, all of that stuff will get you on the mailing list. So wherever you put in your mailing list on wherever you put in your email address on campfireguitarstar.com, that will get you registered on the mailing list, so then you won't miss out on this opportunity. Okay, so anyways, the All Access Pass, I only really open up registration for this like once or twice a year. So that's my enormous big announcement, probably the biggest announcement of today, is that the All Access Pass. So for those of you that really want to get into guitar and start, rocking the house, ripping it up around the campfire, whatever the case is, pretty darn sure this All Access Pass is going to have you totally covered in all the areas, right? We've got 5-minute guitar, which is our beginner course, okay? And that will get all the fundamentals going on, okay? And then, as I mentioned, Acoustic Guitar Star is incredibly complementary to 5-minute guitar, okay? But then and that's definitely, even though it's called Acoustic Guitar Star, it's all about chord changing, bar chords, chord strumming, all that kind of stuff. And I tackle a lot of that stuff in 5-minute guitar as well. Okay, but then on the other end of the spectrum with the electric guitar stuff, and we've got Blues Guitar Star, okay, all about rhythm and lead blues, okay, and then Lead Guitar Star, which is our rock and roll kind of lead guitar soloing course, okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, each one of these programs have hours of content, all the PDFs, all the goodies, all the stuff that you need to tackle each one of these styles and really dig in. And then also we have the 1960s rock guitar song collection, which I tackle 50 songs from the 1960s, everything from the Rolling Stones to Jimi Hendrix to Led Zeppelin, on and on and on to all those amazing, great artists from the 1960s. Okay, so let me know, is there anybody on the call here today that has access to any of these courses, or anybody that has, and by the way, our 101 students, they all have access to this. So usually I see a 101 student on the call by now, but let's see. Yeah, I got to get caught up on the comments here, but keep those rolling in, guys. Again, we're doing an Ask Me Anything type of lesson. So, so any questions about the guitar, definitely keep those rolling in. But yeah, so our 101 students get access to all of these courses. They get an all access pass with their one-on-one lessons that we teach over Skype. Okay, but yeah, then the all access pass members, there may be somebody on the call that is an all access pass member. But also there's people who have probably individually bought one of these programs, and hopefully you're really happy with it. So love to hear from you. But yeah, that's one of the big announcements. And yeah, so let me just get caught up on this on the comments here. But I do have another big announcement that I want to share, which is, and I really want you guys to stick around for this, especially because yeah, I mean, look, September 12th, we're going to be launching the All Access Pass. That's it. That's all we need to know about that for now. And yeah, it's just a matter of staying tuned so you can learn more about that, so you can decide if it's going to be a good fit for you. And then and then yeah, then also so you don't miss it, because I'm gonna open up the doors for registration, and then I got to close that sucker down in a few days because it's too much value for for what people are paying. So it's just going to be a very limited time offer. Okay, so that's all we need to know about the All Access Pass for now. Let me catch up on everybody here. So what's up, Jude and Mike and Tony Boy, Carl May, Morks, and Mike. Cool. So, all right. Jude is a returning viewer. I have some questions on how to get tones of some of my favorite bands like ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan and such. Awesome. Great question. We can talk about that. That's a great question. So yeah, and again, guys, it's Ask Me Anything. I'd love to tackle that. I actually have a Strat that I feel like I can kind of tap into some of the Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of tones. I'm not any kind of SRV aficionado by any means, but I mean, hey, I'm a guitar player. I'm a blues guitar player. I like Stevie Ray Vaughan, but and yeah, and I think I have a couple of ideas for you there. And certainly ZZ Top. Jude, you've got a good taste in music. Okay, so Mike, this is not a commercial, but Campfire Guitar Start is the way that that Mike and I make money. Yes. Okay, so we are guitar teachers, and ever since graduating from the Berklee College of Music, we've been teaching guitar and running guitar schools and guitar systems and producing courses and stuff ever since. So excuse the promotion on the All Access Pass if that bothered you. But yeah, a lot of people do want to know about that. A lot of people do want to invest in their guitar playing and become better. So, and yeah, it's a very special opportunity. So, okay, so Tony Boy asks, how do you improve your rhythm and timing? Time, feel, or groove? I started playing with a metronome, but really trying to sync with it. Okay, awesome question, man. Awesome question. Okay, cool. Cool, so Carl says, All Access Pass sounds great, but because of traveling in a small motorhome, really not interested in playing electric. I do want to learn blues. Yeah, so yeah, you can, like I said, you can buy the courses individually. But yeah, the All Access Pass is probably a more economical way to get access to the blues course, to the acoustic course. But yeah, it's really up to you. So both options are on the table. We have those courses available, and certainly you can get a hold of those. It's Marie. Had an online course with Mike, but did not access the other courses. Can you give me the All Access Pass, please? I also have a Taylor Baby acoustic. Congrats for your baby. Cool. You have a baby acoustic, and I have a real baby. Yeah. So Marie, I've stumbled across her name a few times. Let's get in touch, and definitely, like I said, all the 101 students get access to the All Access Pass, so they get access to all of our courses. Cool. So Mike can't take it anymore. I appreciate you guys that are sticking with me, because Mike cannot take it anymore. Okay. So, yeah. So let's definitely chat about that. Okay. So let's tackle Jude's question. Okay. So how do you get? What did she say exactly? So how do you get the tones of some of her favorite bands like ZZ Top and SRV? Okay, great question. So first of all, I think of those two groups as very separate things. I think about Stevie Ray Vaughan as a Strat through a Fender Super Reverb. Okay, and this is actually somewhat of a SRV type of rig. Strat through a Fender Super Reverb. Okay, so we kind of are all plugged in for that kind of sound. And then when we talk about Billy Gibbons from the ZZ Top, I'm really thinking like either one of these amps, this Marshall or this Mesa, which is basically a Marshall, and a Gibson style guitar. Okay, so I would say that would be the very first thing, is if you're really trying to narrow in on a very specific sound, then typically the sure way to get it is to just find out what it is that those guys are playing, okay? Whether that's a Strat, a Fender, Gibson, Fender amp, a Marshall amp, whatever the case is, And actually, if you just get that type of gear, or at least gear that emulates that gear very closely, then you're going to be so much closer. Because I'll never forget when I was fresh out of music college. I was 19 years old, and I wanted to be a rock star. And I also knew that to be a rock star, you had to have a very unique sound. Okay, and so I went out and I got a Gibson SG and a orange amp, okay? Totally top of the line, good gear. But all of my favorite tones were from like, say like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Jimi Hendrix. So what were they playing? They were playing Strats through Marshall style amps. And then there I was playing an SG through an orange amp and being really frustrated with my guitar sound. Okay, so that would be the kind of the very first thing, okay? And then the next thing is the attack, okay? So with Stevie Ray Vaughan, for instance, okay, so a couple things there. And like I said, the attack. So with the right hand, I'm actually cracking into the strings like pretty hard. Okay, so if I play that like this, or so I'm playing the same notes on the guitar, right? However, the way that I'm approaching it with my attack with my left hand and the attack with my right hand is vastly different. First of all, I'm adding a lot of vibrato, right, with my left hand. But I'm also hitting the strings really hard with my right hand, okay? But because I'm hitting hard with my right hand, I'm also closing off and choking off a lot of the other strings. So see if you can do this for yourself. Say if you grab the 7th fret of the D string right now. Can you get your thumb up and over and your fingers all along, so all along the fretboard, so that when you strike all 6 strings, you only allow 1 to ring. Go ahead and try that for yourself. So okay, so of course it's I've been doing this for a lot of years, so it's relatively easy for me. But a lot of people who try this for the first time, it's like, kind of sounds like this, right? You're just like hitting a whole bunch of random open strings, okay? But that's what you need to do, is get your left hand, especially your thumb, up and over so you can at least mute that E string and hopefully a little bit of the A string as well with your thumb, okay? But then you can also get your fingers kind of like a little bridge, almost like if you make a bar chord, but it's like if you just loosen up that finger, so you just get that dead sound. So you get that kind of thing going on. So then when you do something like I'm doing there is Cold Shot by SRV, is we can just tap into more of that tone because I'm just able to hit the strings a lot harder, but with a lot more control. Okay, so does that make sense? And then vibrato is going to be a really big thing too. So Jude, let me know if that answered your question, and maybe that is going to inspire some more questions. Again, it's Ask Me Anything Day, so keep those rolling in. I think that was a great question, and hopefully I answered it. But yeah, I think that in terms of tapping into the tones, it really comes down to those two things: gear and feel. Okay, gear and feel. Tap into the gear that will at least approximate the tones and get you in the ballpark. Okay. Because again, with my analogy of playing a Gibson guitar and a orange amp, and I'm trying to attain Fender and Marshall tones, that will really frustrate a person, and I've been there, okay? And then as soon as I got a Fender guitar and a Marshall amp, I was like, oh, just had my mind blown and just like, oh, of course, it makes so much sense, right? So get in the wheelhouse with your gear and then start working on your feel and your technique, which will allow you to tap into some of those kind of more emotive styles that you hear some of the greatest players playing. So, okay, and the next question that was so awesome, Tony Boy asked, how do you improve your rhythm and timing? Your time, feel, and groove, okay? Awesome, awesome question. So you started to play with a metronome, but is really trying, trying to really sync with it. Okay, so do I have a metronome? Yes, I have a metronome handy. One moment, here it is. Okay, so I have a couple of ideas for you here. Okay, so playing with a metronome, that's awesome that you are trying to play with the metronome, okay? A lot of people are not playing with metronomes enough. They are essential. They will help you become a better guitar player, okay? Okay, so let me turn up the volume on this bad boy. Okay, so a couple things. One thing that I feel like is a great first step for a lot of beginners is to not necessarily you don't need to hop right into a metronome because that's quite difficult and challenging for a beginner, okay? Try this instead. For all you guys that want to improve your timing and rhythm and groove and your feel, play along with music, okay? That deserves repeating. Play along with music, okay? So say if we use the example of Cold Shot, okay? Tune your guitar to E flat, rip it up on YouTube or on iTunes or on vinyl record or a CD player or however you listen to music. Get that thing up. Once you learn how to play a song, see how quickly you can get into actually playing it with the music, okay? And definitely utilize the tool on YouTube to slow down music, okay? You can slow down music to 75, 50, and 25% in those increments. Okay, so utilize that, like get music slowed down. Okay, we have all this awesome software and technology these days to even slow down music so that it makes it easier for us to play with it. Okay, so I would say in terms of like the straightaway way that you'll notice an improvement in your rhythm and timing is to start playing along with music. Okay, that's going to be so helpful. Okay, now in terms of playing along with the metronome. Okay, so check this out. A great way to start doing it is just start riffing and jamming with it. So as you can hear, we got a click going. The most fun way to play with the metronome, okay? So you can see how I could just go on a tear and just have so much fun with that, okay? So, but whatever you can do, just see if you can just start, even if it's just like right along with the click, okay? Or whatever, right? And or maybe you know a scale or like some basic riffs. And yeah, the trick is, of course, is just finding the right BPM. So that's about 90 BPM right there. But yeah, finding the appropriate BPM where it feels comfortable, and then just start putting the groove into the metronome, okay? And yeah, and then it's also really helpful to start writing it down, like 90 BPM. There's a great funk rhythm, or 87 BPM is where I play Smoke on the Water, or whatever the case is. Like if you can start keeping track of those, so then the next time you go to pick up the metronome, then at least you have a starting point, and then you can always see if you can improve those speeds, get them faster and stuff. So Tony Boy, let me know if that answered your question. Let me know, you guys, if that was helpful at all. Definitely some really good questions out the gate there. Okay, so let me get caught up on the questions in comments here. More espresso. We're rolling now. Okay, and also, question for you guys. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Now, as mentioned, I've been running a guitar school since I graduated from music college back in 2006. And I keep on seeing these recurring themes show up with guitar players like yourself. Okay, and so what I've done is I've created a survey with these 5 things that I keep on seeing, and I want to confirm, like, do I have the right 5 things? Okay, and so I'm going to drop in a link right now. Okay, and now I don't want you to zip away from the lesson or anything. So if you're on a, I don't know, if you're on a mobile device, it'll probably take you to the survey. It'll only take you 2 seconds to complete. But yeah, so there's these 5 recurring themes that keep on showing up. And so I'll just go ahead and go to the link and read them out here. So I'm asking, if you had to choose just one, which one of the following best describes your situation? A, I'm struggling with chord switching and making transitions from one chord to another. B, I don't have any structure with my guitar practice, so I'm not progressing very quickly. Or C, I've got some of the basics down, but I'm struggling with playing full songs and understanding the fretboard. D, my fingers don't cooperate with what I want them to do. I get buzzing sounds and my fingers are slow. Or E, I'm challenged by my strumming hand. I'm not getting the right rhythms, but also picking single notes. So just everything with your right. So which one of those 5 guys are the most, like, which one of those best describes your situation? Or E, honestly, none of the above describes me whatsoever, okay? So if you could, I'd really appreciate for you to go and confirm one of these things, because I've been doing some surveys and asking people, guitar players with the Campfire Guitar Star community, like, what is your single biggest challenge? And so I got, how many responses did I get? I got like 400 responses, and I went through each and every one of them, and I put them into these 5 categories. Well, those are the biggest 5 categories, okay, is what I'm saying. So now I think I got them, but I need to confirm with you, like, are those the top 5 things that you are indeed struggling with? Like one of them, of course you want to describe to me which one of those best describes your situation. So I've dropped in that link, and yeah. Marie asks, in which bands did you play? I played, like, the only kind of like semi-famous band that I played in was a band called Rev Theory. They had a couple songs out called Hell Yeah and Light It Up. And so I was their touring guitarist in 2013 when I lived in Los Angeles. And yeah, had a really good time with those guys. Played some really big shows with bands like Papa Roach and Shinedown, if you've heard of those bands. So yeah, it's a band called Rev Theory. They play really great hard rock type of stuff. If you're into that stuff, definitely check them out. But yeah, and I've been lucky to, bump shoulders with, I've jammed with Martin Barr from Jethro Tull, and played with the guitarist from, that toured with, what's his name? He's super, super famous. Oh my goodness. Just Dance. Put on a record. David Bowie. Yeah, so the touring guitarist for David Bowie, I also got to perform live with him and some stuff like that. So anyways, okay, so Carl says, do courses have PDFs or books to go by if I'm camping where there is no Wi-Fi access? Yes, so Carl, we should just drop me an email, and you can always email in at will@campfireguitarstar.com, and we'll see what we can organize for you, because typically you will need internet access, like, because we do streaming, but I'm pretty sure there's a way that we can get you to download the videos, so then you can just have them on your computers, then you don't need that stuff. And yeah, and all the stuff do come with PDFs, so you get the videos and the PDFs, and we can sort it out some way that you can download all those, okay? So drop me an email, and we'll see if we can get you hooked up. So Don says, hey, do you think I made a mistake starting out with a 7-string with never have played guitar before? Don, it depends on what your goals are, man. 7-string guitars are really popular in the hard rock space. But even when we played in Rev Theory, we weren't playing 7 strings. We were playing 6-string guitars tuned down 2 full steps. Okay, so that's also like a really hard rock type of thing to do. So I guess my question for you, Don, is, are you super into, like, what would be a 7-string band? I think like Korn. Korn would be a good example of a band that really utilize the 7-string guitars. And go ahead and drop in some comments of other bands that you know that use 7-string guitars. And that was really a popular thing, I think, in like, especially the mid 2000s. I feel like 7 strings really blew up, and so many bands were playing with 7 strings. I don't think that if that's the only guitar that you have, don't worry about it, man. Just, you know what you can do? Take off that 7th string. You know, if you're not super into hard rock, if you're not like, you know, a Korn disciple, then just take off that low B string and just make sure that your other 6 strings are tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, and yeah, you're gonna have, you might get roadblocked down the way, you know, because I was just talking about muting with your thumb and stuff like that, so you won't be able to really do that on a 7th string. But if that's the only guitar that you have, you're probably just fine. Okay. Carl asks, if I order the 5-minute book now, when will I receive it? Yeah, so there's a good chance that you'll receive it by the 13th, okay? Because, yeah, it's Sunday now, but Monday is a holiday, isn't it? So maybe we have a shortened week. It's a holiday here in Canada anyways, but the books do ship out from the US. So there's a good chance that it'll get shipped out on Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, yeah, and then, you know, I wouldn't bet your life on it, but there's a good chance that it could get in before you leave. And so yeah, so Carl's talking about the 5-minute guitar book. I don't have a copy handy. I usually try to have one out so I could show you guys. Anyways, it's a 160-page book that's compatible with our 5-minute guitar course, and we ship that all over the world. We shipped out with 3,000 copies of that book, so it's been pretty cool. So anyways, that's what Carl's talking about, in case you're wondering. Okay, and Richard says, that's excellent advice. Cheers. I have started playing with music, and it has improved my sound and timing. I also use a metronome. Awesome to hear, Richard. Yeah, and that's definitely what I think too, man. Playing with music is a sure way to lock in some good new groove and rhythm and stuff. Yeah, never let your left hand stop, even if there's no note played. It helps. Yeah, and that also reminds me of a tip I always tell guitarists, like when you're strumming chords, don't let your right hand stop. So even if you hit a wrong chord, see how I stopped there? And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We should actually just keep that right hand going. No matter what is going on with your left hand, okay? So oftentimes keeping the rhythm going with your strumming hand is going to be a really good tip there. Brendan Dubé asks, how long have you been playing? I've been playing guitar since I was 9 years old. I'm 33 now. But you know, when you're 9 years old, you don't really take anything too seriously. Or even when you're like 15, in my case, I just still didn't take anything too seriously. But I did go to music college when I was 17, and yeah, I was like actually an embarrassingly terrible beginner at music college, especially in comparison to a lot of other people. I came from a small town, and I didn't have like really great music lessons where I was, and yeah, so I was still like just kind of like a beginner intermediate, and played in some high school bands. But yeah, so music school absolutely whooped me. And then ever since then, that just revolutionized my guitar playing. So I would say I've been playing like really seriously for about 15 years. So cool. And then so Jude answers A to that question. Again, here's that link that I was wondering if you guys could please answer. So I've got those 5 topics that keep on showing up with beginner guitar players. And here's the thing, guys, is I want to know what the answer is to this so I can help you guys the best. So when we're recording a new video series, or when we're putting out new YouTube content, or whatever it is, we really want to know that, okay, look, like 90% of people are challenged by chord strumming, and but nobody really seems to be having any problems with their with their fingers on their left hand, you know, or whatever. So just want to make sure that we're putting out the best content and really helping you guys the best way we can. So if you guys could take a second to answer that, just a 5-question survey, or it's not even a 5-question, it's a 5-choice survey. It'll take you 2 seconds to complete. That would be awesome. But yeah, guys, so look, I'll shut it down here in just a couple minutes. I'll try to tackle any other questions that do come in. And so, yeah, if you do have any other guitar questions, keep them rolling in. And then also, I just want to make sure that I tackled everything. Yeah, so I've got the new studio. This is where I'll be recording guitar lessons from now on. How about that lava lamp, huh? And yeah, so we got the All Access Pass coming out on September 12th. You can register for that. So get on the mailing list, go over to campfireguitarstar.com, sign up for our free course, register for a tab or whatever. Who here is not on the mailing list? Okay, just tell me that. And I'll drop in a link to make sure that you can get access to the mailing list and our free course and stuff. Okay, so yeah, so then you won't miss the chance to get the All Access Pass. Again, it's $1 trial for the for 30 days access to all of our courses and some really cool bonuses with that as well. So stay tuned for that. Some really exciting big. So that's one of my big announcements for today. And yeah, and just if you guys can answer this this 5-point question survey, my discovery survey, so I can just ultimately help you guys better. Okay, that would be super helpful. Okay, so how long have you been playing? Cool. And how can you spice up your rhythm playing on the funky groovy side of things? Tony boy, great questions, man. I would really suggest listening to James Brown, The Meters, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Rage Against the Machine. Okay, that's where I learned my whole wheelhouse of funk guitar and just like really locking in with rhythms was, again, The Meters, classic 1960s funk band. They have awesome tunes. Does anybody here know of The Meters? They're really not very famous, but they're kind of well known in the musician realm, but super famous, awesome, influential people. James Brown, especially his funk era, you know, in the 70s when he was really funking it up. And then the Red Hot Chili Peppers, if we fast forward to the 90s, the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Rage Against the Machine. Okay, those were like some funk rock bands that were really influential. And yeah, they, you know, so I would just, yeah, learn those styles, learn those songs, play along with music, do that every single day for the next 3 months, and come back to me, and I'm sure that you'll be like stoked on where your guitar playing is and where your rhythm's at. Marie asks, is electric guitar more difficult or easier than acoustic guitar? Okay, so electric guitar has floppier strings, like as you can see, like just when I bend these strings, you can see like just how squishy they are, and that's because they're actually smaller in diameter. Okay, so in that way, they're a little softer on the fingers. But the one thing I don't like about electric guitars for beginners is just like all these knobs and switches and the cord into the amp and turning things on and adjusting things and distortion and effects and stuff. I find that stuff can be really overwhelming for beginners, and where it's just like an acoustic guitar is so beautiful because you can just pick it up, put it in your lap. It's tuned the same way as an electric guitar. An acoustic guitar is tuned the same way as an electric guitar. They both have 6 strings. They're both tuned the same. So you can play anything on an electric that you can on an acoustic, and they're just so much more simple. And then you can just focus on playing and learning. And then if you discover like, man, I really want to play Jimi Hendrix, or like Led Zeppelin is my thing, man, then yeah, maybe electric is more suited for you. And then keep your acoustic though, because acoustic guitars are awesome. So that's kind of, I don't know, who here agrees with me? Let me know if you agree with me on that at all. That's kind of what I think. But yeah, if you have an electric guitar and that's your first guitar, no problem. It's fine. You know, it's great, really, you know. But yeah, I just love the simplicity and just how like an acoustic guitar is just so earthy and organic, you know, like there's just no complexities about it. Okay. Okay. Progress killers. How do you tackle this? Gary, that is such a loaded question. I love it. But man, what a loaded question. I feel like I got to attack this on like all angles. So anyways, feel free to email in if you have something more specific. But I do have to get rolling here. So Carl says he's digging the lava lamp. That's awesome. It's rolling right now. Good to see. That lava lamp's been in my household ever since I was a little kid. So it's cool to have it set up and rocking, you know, especially because I love the 60s and all the music that was produced there. Don says, I've been going through 5-minute guitar and I really love it. It's great how you guys break everything down in the way you do. So thank you so much for the lesson. Awesome, Don. Cheers, man. I really appreciate those comments, guys. Like it keeps us fueled with energy, you know, so that we can keep on doing this for you guys. Because anyways, I do really believe in our systems and the stuff we're doing over at Campfire Guitar Star. So when I see a comment like that, I'm like, yes, because I can tell you, man, you know, producing that video course and producing that book was so much work, you know. So anyways, and all the marketing and all the stuff to go along with it. So anyways, the fact that I'm able to have reached you individually and other people is really awesome for me. So thank you. And Richard also says, thank you for your lessons. I've followed you for a while and the other company you do. Yeah. So with Guitar Mastery Method, by the sounds of it, I have found all of your lessons quite helpful and informative. Awesome. Cool. Awesome to hear, Richard. That's great. Yeah. And yeah, it's cool. I've worked with Jam Play, Guitar Control, Guitar Mastery Method, okay, and they're all awesome companies with great people, and then yeah, I've been running Campfire Guitar Star for a bunch of years, and so it's all good, man. I'm really grateful for what I can do. I will say it's a lot of work, man. You know, we're not slagging over here. It's a lot of work, and Mike and we're always crushing out content and you know, trying to bring the goods and trying to help you guys out the most that we can. So again, guys, if you could, here's that link to let me know what your biggest challenges are, where your biggest frustrations are. I'm just trying to like make sure that what we're doing can be even better, because I'm really gonna like grip down this fall and see if I can make this Campfire Guitar Star thing like the most kick-ass that it can possibly be. Okay, I want to help you guys the most that I can. Okay, so I've kind of found like a new level of inspiration and motivation to kind of take what we've got going on here and just make it better, though. Like get you guys really rocking the house, getting you guys exactly what you need. So anyways, and it would be really helpful to start out with answering just these questions here. Brendan asks, how much should I pay for a 12-string? I bought a Yamaki 12-string for $250, and it's awesome. And that's spelled like this. Here, I'll type it in. Yamaki? I actually just better look at the headstock. Yamaki. Is that what I did? Yamaki. Yeah, check out that brand. They were 1970s like Martin clones made in Japan. Super, super nice guitars. Again, especially for the money. Like you can get them for, yeah, between $200 and $500. The 6-string versions and the 12-string versions are awesome. And you can, and they're not like super rare. You can track them down. So anyways, that's what I did. And I have a great 12-string that I really love. Cool. So my issues with guitars, my left-hand fingers are not used to spread and to play chords. I just can't get used to it. Yeah. So it sounds like that's one of the buckets or one of the suggestions that I have on this bucket.campfireguitarstar.com link. And so I categorize that as my fingers don't cooperate with what I want them to do. I get buzzing sounds and my fingers are slow. So that's maybe the best one that describes you there. Okay, guys. So that was fun. Mike B will be doing a live lesson next week. I'll be doing a pre-recorded lesson now that finally my studio is set up. So stay tuned for that. Also, check out the YouTube channel because Mike just released a video yesterday called Easy Eagle Songs to play on guitar. So if you're an Eagles fan, make sure to check that out. We've been getting some nice comments and stuff about that. Lots of Eagles fans. And whoever does the publishing for the Eagles always takes down our Eagles guitar lessons. We've had a couple of Hotel California lessons that have been pulled down. So if you're into the Eagles, don't snooze on this. Hop over and check out that lesson now because for whatever reason, you don't see Eagles guitar lessons up on YouTube for very long. All right. Okay, guys. Cheers. Have a great weekend. If you guys could please fill out this thing. And stay tuned for the All Access Pass, which is getting launched on September 12th. And yeah, otherwise, hopefully, yeah, just come back and check out this replay. Definitely, we tackled some questions that I thought were great questions. So thank you guys for tuning in. And until the next one, keep on ripping it up. There's my outro.